third of the 2 comments that Avery Wood has made about religious people and getting the R word by Jesus once they get to heaven, and also saying that women who have regular natural births are wrecked downstairs, and how she's pristine because she had a C-section. But there was another comment that people aren't talking about, and it really should be talked about. So towards the beginning of the podcast, granted, I listened to the podcast after they already edited it, but still kept this comment in, which I think, again, just shows the mean girl energy that she has. Side note, I've never really liked Avery. I've always felt a weird vibe from her, and this whole scenario just kind of reinforces that. But towards the beginning, she asks Harry what his type is, and mind you, already throughout this is a very flirtatious nature, a very flirty podcast so far. Multiple times Harry has tried to actually change the narrative and talk about how he's trying to be more celibate, or how he's trying to be celibate, and how he's trying to find the one, and how he really wants to actually settle down with someone. But I digress. So she asks him what his type is, and he responds that he's actually a very big energy person, and that it's not specifically looks. To which Avery literally cuts him off and is like, well, you wouldn't have sex with a 2 out of 10. Like, oh God, how dare he ever have sex with someone with a 10 out of 10 personality who's a 2 out of 10. Her fucking words. And he says that he did, and he says, no, like, I'm a big energy person. And she is just like appalled. He's like, no. She's like, no, you're only bagging 10 out of 10s. Da, 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 da. Meanwhile, also like starving for his like approval of her, and saying that he would, hook up with her. So also reinforces that Avery thinks she's the fucking shit, and she thinks she's the hottest thing to fucking walk the face of the planet, which again is just absolute mean girl energy. So pretty much what she's saying is that, she thinks that conventionally attractive men cannot be with women who maybe have a wonderful personality, and that women who maybe don't fit the conventions of beauty in our society don't deserve to be with men who people may objectively think are attractive. That's what that means. And it's disgusting. Do fucking better. You have 2.5 million people who follow you. Many of those people are moms, women, teenagers, young girls, and this is what you're saying? That your looks determine the type of person that you're going to be with? And again, you're boiling it down to your looks are what you deserve in relationships, and who you're eligible to date is based on your looks? I honestly have a lot of respect for Harry throughout this whole entire podcast, because like I said, multiple times he was trying to kind of change the narrative about himself, but she literally called him a whore. She may have called him a slut. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know for a fact she called him a whore. If this was vice versa, like if this was a man saying this to a woman, this would be an outrage. But because he's a man, we're allowed to objectify him. And also because he's an attractive man, we're allowed to objectify him, and we're allowed to kind of poke fun at him and sexualize him. I just it's disgusting to me. If this was a woman, this would be absolutely appalling. So why don't we have the same energy for a man? The part that made me the most sad for Harry is that he said that his father passed away about 6 weeks ago. And when talking to his dad before he died, his dad said, Harry, I really think you'd be a great father. I think you'd be a great husband, and that he really wanted that for him. And again, this was towards the end that Harry said this in the podcast, but throughout the podcast, he was kind of hinting towards he wants a real relationship. He's been planning dates that, are in the middle of the day, that, there's not really an opportunity to hook up, because he wants to get away from that, because he wants to meet someone. And it just goes to show, his father passed away 6 weeks ago. He's really trying to change his ways. But even though he changed the narrative of the conversation so many times, Avery just could not stop with the sexualization of him. So regardless of the 2 other comments that were taken out, in Avery Wood's eyes, if you are not a 10 out of 10, you don't deserve to be with a objectively attractive male. Do better. That's disgusting.